luminous beings were filmed in Mexico after the vignette. Hello everyone, I'm Edison Boventura. Welcome to our channel. And today I bring you some images, footage, videos of supposed luminous beings that appeared in Mexico. In Brazil, from time to time, we have cases involving unidentified flying object occupants that have this energetic, somewhat luminous appearance. I personally I'm researching the case of Claudio in the state of Minas Gerais, and there we had reports of these luminous beings made by police officers and civilians. It's even included in official reports. In Claudio specifically, the luminous beings appeared in November and December of 2008, and then they returned to the city, to the same places where they had appeared before, but this time in 2024, in the months of August and September of 2024. So it seems that these beings have a preference for certain locations. And Mexico also has a high incidence of appearances of these luminous beings. We're going to focus on Mexico, talk a bit about some cases from Mexico, and bring you some very interesting images from 2025. I'd like to point out that although in Brazil we have a concentration of these luminous beings in Minas Gerais, they have also been seen in the North region, in the Northeast, in the countryside of Sao Paulo, and in some other places. These beings have also been detected and sighted there as well. They have also been spotted in other countries, and they have been filmed as well. But it seems that America, both North America, Central America, and South America, seems to have a preference for these luminous beings. Regarding the sightings in Mexico, it's worth remembering that these appearances date back a long time, right? But the most well-known case is one that happened in Metepec, Mexico on September 16, 1994, around 11 p.m. Several people observed an unidentified flying object and then started to see a creature, a crew member of that unidentified flying object, which was luminous. One of the witnesses, Sarah Cuevas, even managed to film this creature. And the next day, when they went to the place, they found some traces there that looked like footprints of this luminous being, which was small and was filmed by Sarah. Let's see the footage. Another case that happened in Mexico in a region called La Rumorosa, right? And also in the surrounding area, it happened 3 years after the Metepec case, right? Which would have been on May 16, 1997. It says there that some young people went camping, right? And 3 campers from the group ended up getting separated for an undetermined amount of time at a certain moment. And those campers were Fabricio Salvador Villanueva and Lamone Gonzalez, right? They took another shortcut, another path, and they ended up encountering UFOs and several luminous beings. They even climbed up a tree and watched everything from there for several hours, right? At least that's what they estimate. They observed for quite a long time there in La Rumorosa. And it's also reported that their testimony was broadcast on the History Channel, for example, and on other television programs. This caught the attention of Jaime Maussan, who is currently a researcher and television presenter. He went with his team to the location to interview these witnesses, and while he was there visiting the region and everything else, he said that he observed, along with all those witnesses from his team and also the witnesses from that time, new luminous beings. He attests to this. He even gave a statement saying, look, what they saw is really true, because I myself saw that luminous thing there in La Rumorosa, right? And that's on record, which would also be small beings, about 90 centimeters tall, with heads disproportionate to their bodies. And they were very luminous, emitting a very intense glow. This then happened on May 16, 1997. Well, let's now watch a video that was made in 2025. And now in January 2026, it was widely shared on the internet. And it was obtained by the photographer Juan Jose Fajardo. He had a Nikon P1000 camera, and he was in the area which is in the northern part of the beach there in Miramar, right? Miramar Beach in the city of Madeira in Tamaulipas, right? Which is also in Mexico, right? And he already focusing there at night, the area, right? The sea there, he saw some lights that apparently to him seemed of people, right? Or at least a human shape, but luminous, right? So he stayed there at a great distance, watching that luminous humanoid figure that seemed to be walking slowly through that area. He says, right, the photographer Juan, that it wasn't a reflection, it wasn't an ordinary person, right? And that feeling, the silhouettes really were something quite impressive and different. This case, right, this video you're seeing here, it caught the attention of investigators from that region. For example, Alex Cooper. And he had already compiled several testimonies from that region, right? From Miramar Beach, right? Other people had already made statements at different times. The appearance of strange beings, those luminous humanoids as well, right? Which they call personas de luz over there, right? They would be enlightened, luminous people, right? So that's pretty common in Mexico, right? And you guys, what do you think, right? Would they be the crew members of the UFOs? Could it be? Is there any other explanation? Leave it in the comments because I'm interested in knowing your opinion about these phenomena, right? These luminous beings that from time to time appear in various parts of the world, and now it seems they've returned in Mexico. Well, that's what I had for you today. See you in the next video, podcast, or live stream with Edison Boaventura.